every year brings about change, and NASCAR is no exception when it comes to that. From new drivers entering the sport, to old drivers leaving the sport, to new teams being formed, to old teams being shutting down, to the existing teams having a change, be it internal with the crew chief or other personnel, be it a manufacturer change, given the acquisition of a new sponsor for their team, be it a driver sponsor or a team sponsor, etc. There are a lot of changes that have happened throughout the years, which have led the sport to become what it is today. Of course, after a 2020 off-season that ended up being, in my opinion, one of the wildest off-seasons in recent NASCAR history, we are going to examine today the results of this off-season, and I'm going to bring you today what I consider to be the drivers that we as fans should pay most attention to. I'm gonna be listing 5 drivers on this list, and also one honorable mention. So let's get into it. So my honorable mention is Daniel Suarez, the driver of the new Trackhouse Racing team. Basically, the main reason they're a honorable mention is because I do not expect much of them. They are gonna be, in my opinion, a top 25. They're gonna be scoring the occasional top 20 finish on some big track or road course, because Suarez as a driver, I have noticed that Suarez has been pretty good at super speedways and road courses, but he is pretty on the short tracks and intermediates. He is pretty up and down. Now, the main reason why I'm mentioning this, why I'm putting them they deserve some mention on this list, is because of the situation that Suarez is in right now. I saw on Twitter, J-Ski tweeted a few days ago that Daniel Suarez said that Trackhouse Racing is the best opportunity he's had in his career. And of course, a few people took offense to that, like Brett Moffitt, for example. He was questioning him, like, why would he say that? And of course, I get it. From a performance standpoint, Trackhouse Racing is basically Germain Racing 2.0. That team was formed from the assets of the former Germain Racing team, and they have a technical alliance with RCR, which is a team that is clearly inferior to Stuart Haas and Joe Gibbs at the moment, which are the two teams that Suarez run. But I think Daniel Suarez is saying this not from a performance standpoint, but for more of a long-term standpoint. Because when you think about it, and you look at how Trackhouse Racing has treated Suarez ever since they announced that he will be their driver for this season and beyond, I have seen how invested the team is with Suarez. Like, this is the first time that I've seen a Cup Series team being so invested in Suarez. Because when you look at Joe Gibbs Racing, they rushed him, but they put him in a short leash, because that's how Joe Gibbs Racing is with their drivers. They did the same thing to Eric Jones last year. They gave him the boot because they were getting impatient with his performance. Stuart Haas Racing, by that point, Daniel Suarez was kind of damaged goods, and Cole Custer was, of course, on the pipeline. So again, and of course, Clean Boy was in a contract year, of course. They decided to keep Boyer, basically because he made the playoffs and Suarez didn't. But Boyer ended up retiring one season later anyway, so I see that move as kind of pointless, in my opinion. I mean, of course, Chase Briscoe was also on the pipeline, of course, in 2020, so I don't know how that situation would have played out, but I digress. And with Gunn Brothers Racing, I mean, yeah, it was a reunion with Toyota and it was all nice, but if Gunn Brothers Racing was really invested in Suarez, they would have kept him. They wouldn't have let him go. So yeah, Trackhouse team, there were a lot of free agents on the market. For all I know, they could have signed Bubba Wallace, for all I know, which is way more marketable driver than Daniel Suarez is, in my opinion. But they didn't. They went with Suarez. of all the drivers that were available, they went with Suarez, and that tells me that Trackhouse Racing is fully invested in Daniel Suarez. They are fully committed to building around Daniel Suarez, and they even got Pitbull. How crazy is that? And that just makes me really happy, because what Suarez has always needed in his Cup Series career is stability. Because I believe he never got that with Jogic Racing, him being rushed to the Cup Series. He never got that with Stewart-Haas Racing, because, I mean, by that point he was on a short leash from his time in Jogic Racing. People didn't think highly of him. And at Gunn Brothers Racing, I mean, that team wasn't a backmarker team, but they were close to being one. And again, if they really were committed to Suarez, they would have signed him to a multi-year deal, and they didn't. So I'm happy for Suarez and happy for Trackhouse, and I wish them the best. However, I think their equipment is going to hold them back, and the fact that they're a new team on a pretty much the weakest manufacturer as of right now, and I'll get to that later. That's what's gonna ultimately hold them back. So, kicking off the list proper, at number 5, we have Chase Briscoe. Briscoe is on this list, number 5, because of 2 reasons. Number 1 being that there are a lot more drivers that I consider are worth paying more attention to than Chase Briscoe. And number 2, and the biggest reason, is because Chase Briscoe is a rookie. And rookies are going to be drivers to watch for by default. Especially if you are a rookie that set the Xfinity Series on fire last season, winning 9 races and almost winning the championship. Of course, people are gonna want to see what you're made of. And as a matter of fact, Chase Briscoe is the only Ford driver on this list. So by default, he's gonna be worth watching anyways. However, again, I'm just saying, the fact that you are a rookie automatically puts you on the list. And I didn't want to put you high on the list simply because you are a rookie, because people are gonna be watching rookies anyways. And besides, Chase Briscoe already is the Rookie of the Year. As long as he doesn't get injured, of course. Chase Briscoe is going to have the Rookie of the Year award wrapped up. He already has it. They have to give it to him. Who's the other candidate that's going to go and make a run for the award? Anthony Alfredo on a front row motorsports car. And again, I don't hate Alfredo. I don't say this to hate Alfredo. I'm just saying that it's a reality I'm just being realistic here. Chase Briscoe has no excuse to not win this award. He has the Rookie of the Year award wrapped up. And that's another thing I want to discuss. The 2021 rookie class is pretty weak. Outside of Briscoe and Alfredo, there's literally nobody else. So let's be happy that at least we have a rookie worth watching. But just because you're a rookie, that doesn't mean I'm going to put you high on the list, because people are going to have eyes on you anyways. So yeah, Briscoe lands here at number 5 for basically being a rookie. So at number 4, we have the other driver who quote-unquote graduated from the Xfinity Series. I said quotes because this driver has had plenty, and I mean plenty, of Cup Series experience, just not on a competitive car. And of course, we have been speculating his move a lot of times to this team. It's just that he's driving a car that we didn't expect him to drive. We expected him to drive the 1 car, but he's driving the 42 car. Number 4 is Ross Chastain. And if I made this video 6 months ago, I would put Chastain higher on the list. But the reason that he is number 4 is because of his 2020 Xfinity season. Yeah, you can tell me that he was consistent. He scored the most top 10s of any other Xfinity driver that season. He kept the car clean, which is pretty surprising considering that Chastain is a very aggressive driver. You gotta watch out for that in the Daytona 500. You're not gonna want to miss it. So Chastain has developed a reputation for being an aggressive driver, but for all that fanfare and all the hype for his 2020 season, he didn't win a race. He didn't really deliver, and he was also expected to make it to the championship 4, and again, he did not. So of course people are starting to question of how good Ross Chastain is and if he will make the playoffs in that 42 car. Spoiler alert, I don't have him making the playoffs. And the main reason I don't have him making the playoffs is because we saw how bad the 42 car was last season with Matt Kenseth driving it. And of course this opened up a lot of eyes, not only to how bad the 42 car is, but to how good Kyle Larson really was. Because you're telling me that Kyle Larson, especially in 2017, he won 4 races on a 42 car that is a mid-pack team at best with any other driver. That speaks a lot to the raw talent of Kyle Larson and also Kurt Busch. I consider Kurt Busch the most underrated NASCAR driver right now, and it's because of that, because he has been able to elevate every ride he's been on. He's been able to elevate his equipment and get the most out of it. Kyle Larson, of course, being an aggressive driver like Chastain, he has also been able to get the most out of his equipment, even though he tends to overdrive the car and crash it. I believe we could see a bit of that with Ross Chastain, so I'm a bit worried that he might score quite a few DNFs, a few more DNFs than we would like to. I mean, it just comes with the territory of having an aggressive driver on a car that is less than suited for their abilities. But of course, I believe Chastain deserves a shot. I want to see what he can do in the 42. It's too early to tell. Maybe for all we know, he proves me wrong and ends up winning a race and making it, I don't know, to the round of 12 in the playoffs. But as it stands right now, my expectations for Chastain are not that high. But he could be a driver that could surprise, so keep an eye on him. So at number 3, we have everybody's favorite driver, Bubba Wallace. Oh, Bubba. You made a lot of headlines in 2020. And I mean a lot. Hell, even Stephen A. Smith was talking about you on ESPN. It was great. Thanks to Bubba, NASCAR was finally in the national sports news. He was making headlines. If it wasn't for the right reasons, but hey, at least it got people talking about the sport. So I'll take that. Especially since Bubba is such an amazing person, and I really want him to succeed. And now he has the opportunity to succeed because Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan had teamed up together to form 23XI Racing. And oh my god, the hype for this team is through the roof. I'm gonna say it right now. Bubba Wallace right now for 2021 might be the most overhyped driver ever in NASCAR history. The most hyped up. And it's for good reason, because people of course want to see Bubba Wallace do well. He's a minority driver, so a lot of people want him to do well because that puts a lot of eyes on the sport. Even NASCAR wants him to do well. When Bubba Wallace wins, everyone wins, similar to when Chase Elliott wins, everyone wins. Bubba Wallace is a great personality, very marketable, and he has the backing of Michael Jordan now, the GOAT of basketball, at least in most people's eyes. So of course the hype and of course he's driving a Toyota, a Joe Gibbs aligned Toyota. So of course people are gonna say, well, he's driving a Gibbs Toyota, he's gonna win 2 races and make it to round of 12. Well, not so fast. To that I say, not so fast. Bubba Wallace is driving a satellite team for Joe Gibbs Racing, basically what Levine family was to last year. So in my opinion, if you ask me, Bubba Wallace is in a situation that is better than Trackhouse, but it's basically the same. You see, Trackhouse Racing with Daniel Suarez, they have a technical alliance with Richard Childress Racing. And 2311 Racing is in the same situation. They have a technical alliance with a bigger team, that team being Joe Gibbs Racing. Now, of course, I believe that 2311 will perform better than Trackhouse because Joe Gibbs Racing is better than Richard Childress Racing. So, of course, I expect better results for Bubba than I do to Suarez. Where I see Suarez running top 25, I see Bubba running top 15 or top 20. Now, as for the matter of making the playoffs, do I think Bubba Wallace will make the playoffs? No. Not if he wins a race. Not unless he wins a race. Now, do I think that Bubba Wallace will win a race? I want to say yes, but as of right now, it's not likely. The 2021 playoff grid, like I said, is very stacked. There are like more than half the field has a shot at making the playoffs. But Bubba Wallace is one of those bubble drivers that they need to win. They need to win their way in. And even though everything looks promising for Bubba, we need to take off those rose-colored glasses and be realistic here. 2311 Racing, unless they prove something that they're better than what their equipment is, unless they prove anything new to me, 2311 Racing is gonna be Levine Family 2.0. They're gonna be like a top 20 team. And that's really sad because, again, I want to see Bubba Wallace succeed, but I gotta be realistic. I gotta say it like it is. Bubba Wallace is a bit too overhyped. People need to pump the brakes on that. I expect a top 20 season out of him. Nothing more. If he does anything more than that, it's an overachievement. And speaking of the devil, at number 2, I have the driver of the former Levine Family Racing team, Christopher Bell. And the main reason Christopher Bell is this high on the list is pretty self-explanatory. Basically, Coach Gibbs chose Eric Jones over him. They told Eric, look Jones, you already got your chance. Now let's see what Christopher Bell can do. Good luck out there. And he shoved them out the door. Now Christopher Bell is finally in the prime position to showcase his talent. His awesome talent that just captured the attention of many people in the Xfinity Series. Now, of course, his Cup Series stint was pretty meh. His rookie season was pretty meh, but that's because he was driving a Levine Family Racing car, a car that with Joe Gibbs Racing equipment was barely top 20 because they were a satellite team. But now, Christopher Bell has been promoted to the top team. He is now on the Joe Gibbs Racing. And of course, a lot of people, myself included, expect him to win. And not just win, like just one race and that's it. I expect him to have multi-win seasons, or at least compete for multiple wins. I also expect him to win a few stages and be competitive in the playoffs. How competitive? Round of 12. That's all I expect from him. It will be interesting to see how much Christopher Bell performs. And the 20 car has gone for a rotation door of drivers from Matt Kenseth to Eric Jones, now to Christopher Bell. And I believe that the 20 car is competitive. It's just that for a few seasons when Eric Jones was driving it, you just kind of feel like, yeah, Eric Jones is talented, but maybe he's not the driver of the 20 car. Let's see if Christopher Bell is that guy. Many people say that Christopher Bell is not going to do much because he's actually a bit older and more inconsistent than Eric Jones. And I get where those people are coming from, but look, we haven't seen Christopher Bell drive the 20 car yet. So pump the brakes on that and let's see how it goes. If he flops, then I'll let you have your due. But until then, just calm down, okay? The season hasn't even started yet. As I'm recording this, The Daytona 500 is just a handful of hours away from starting. Relax, okay? And at number 1, look, this is going to be a bit of a cop-out because I don't have just one driver. I don't have 2 drivers. I have 2 teams to put at number 1. At number 1, I have Hendrick Motorsports and Richard Childress Racing. I could put the entire Chevrolet camp in there, but I just want to focus on the main 2 teams for this number 1, which are HMS and RCR. Basically, it's simple. I have been echoing this for the past few videos, and I'm gonna say it again because this is relevant. RCR and Hendrick Motorsports have finally allied. They finally have an alliance. So Chevrolet will no longer be running like this. Some Chevrolet teams are running Hendrick Motorsports. Other Chevrolet teams are running Richard Childress Chevrolets. No, the Chevy camp has finally united. HMS and RCR had finally joined forces, and now all Chevrolet teams are under one banner. And of course, this is going to affect positively all Chevrolet teams, but especially Hendrick Motorsports and RCR because they are the main 2 teams in all of this stuff. So the drivers I really want to talk about, Kyle Larson, Austin Dillon, William Byron, Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, all these guys are going to be drivers to watch for. And Chase Elliott as well, but I already talked about Chase Elliott in a previous video, so I wanted to give focus on the other guys. So for Kyle Larson, he's a pretty hit or miss driver, but we already saw during the 2020 season how much the 42 cars struggle without him. So Kyle Larson, his talent cannot be denied. His talent cannot be denied, and now that he's driving with Hendrick Motorsports, he will finally have a chance to show if he is on Chase Elliott's level, like many people have, like many of his fans have said that he is. Then William Byron, he's coming off of a win, his first career win at Daytona last season. What I want to see from Byron is if he can build off of that and score another win or maybe 2. Now the driver that I expect to take a big leap from Hendrick Motorsports is Alex Bowman. I expect Alex Bowman to improve to top 10 driver level. He's driving the 48, which is a better car than the 88 in my opinion. Greg Ives is moving there as well, but the 48 will retain their pit crew, they will retain their engineers, they will retain all of that. So Alex Bowman will technically have superior resources, and I believe he's gonna be the second best driver. He's gonna be the second best driver in Hendrick Motorsports. He and Larson will compete for that second best driver spot. Now for Richard Childress Racing, Austin Dillon, I believe Austin Dillon can win 2 races this season. I'm not gonna say he will, but I think he has the chance to have a multi-win season and also compete for more wins. I definitely expect Austin Dillon to compete for more wins. As for Tyler Reddick, look, it's simple. Go get your first career win. He's looked fast at the 1.5 mile tracks, especially Homestead. So he's gonna pretty much be a factor there. I actually expect Tyler Reddick to win at Homestead. That would actually be pretty cool to see because that's a track that he has dominated in the Xfinity Series, and he even finished 4th in the Cup Series. He's gonna be dueling with the likes of Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott on that track. It's gonna be great to see Tyler Reddick and Austin Dillon finally put RCR back on the map. Put RCR to the top, elevate RCR to the top 5 teams in NASCAR like it used to be since the days of Kevin Harvick. RCR is finally in a positive direction. They're finally trending in a positive direction, and that's something you couldn't say 8 years ago, back when 7 to 8 years ago, back when Kevin Harvick left. So good for you, RCR. Good for Hendrick. And I just want to say, I just want to end this video on a kind of a bold prediction. Not really bold, but just remember this. Just screenshot it if you want to. My bold prediction is that Chevrolet will win the manufacturer's championship. That's it. That's literally the only bold prediction I have for this season. Screenshot it if you want. Go back to this video. But if it happens, I'm gonna say I told you so. So anyways, that's the end of this video. Like and subscribe if you want to. Comment down below. And I also want to know what other drivers should I watch for. Suggestions are open, of course. Start a debate and ring the bell to get notified about future uploads. And I'll see you guys then. Bye.